Today on Pet Rescue, can you help Bonnie get back into shape? And will little Meg make it through the night? We start with a big thank you to all of you who have called our appeal hotline. We're thrilled at the number of homes we've been offered for the unwanted animals we've featured. And the fact that many of them are now setting off on new lives is down to you. Later in the programme, we'll be asking for your help in finding a home for another animal in need. But as from today, our hotline number has changed, so please be ready to write the new one down. In the meantime, thanks again and keep those calls coming in.
This is Meg, an 18-year-old collie cross who belongs to Cheryl Moore, the centre manager here at Woodside. A much younger version of Meg has just been brought in. She's painfully thin, and staff are worried that if they don't find out soon what's wrong with her, she'll have no chance at all of reaching Meg's ripe old age. Little Meg is 5 months old and was found straying on a council estate in Leicester by local dog wardens. She's clearly malnourished, and the priority is to find out exactly how much she weighs. At only 3.25 kilograms, little Meg is less than half the weight she should be.
I think that the first thing we should do really is offer her some food and see how she reacts to that. Obviously if she goes at it like crazy, then there's a chance that she has been neglected.
If Meg refuses her first meal at the centre, her weight loss is likely to be a symptom of more serious internal problems. Meg's enthusiastic response calms Hayley's worst fears. Staff think the best way for Meg to get the full-time attention she needs is for her to be temporarily fostered. Woodside volunteer Lisa Smith agrees to look after her at home until she's well enough to be put up for adoption. Lisa has 2 other rescue dogs, Jess and Jake.
I've seen over the past few days that both her weight has changed. She's obviously gained more weight now, she's having 4 meals a day, but also in her character she's become more demanding. She really does like people, and when she's in a room with Jessie or with Jake and there's no people in it, she wants to be with people. She's 2 steps behind me all the time. Oh yes, it's yours, don't worry, it's yours, good girl, yeah. Oh lovely. Good girl, no Jake, come on Jess, come on.
For Lisa and husband Phil, caring for little Meg is a full-time job. But it's not just her weight that needs monitoring. Her coat is also in a terrible condition. It's now time for her very first bath.
Good girl. Good girl. Oh, you are a good girl. I've still got a few concerns about Meg, not only with her weight, but also she's not behaving like a proper puppy should. She's not playing, she's not running round, and I think that's got a lot to do with the fact that she is so underweight. Hopefully, once we get a bit more food inside her, she'll have the energy to charge around with the other dogs, and then we'll have to socialise her with toys. There's a chance that she's never had a toy before in her life and just doesn't know what to do with them.
But just when Meg has the chance of a new life, her health takes a dramatic turn for the worse.
During the night, Meg was just like a lifeless rag doll. It was awful, it was a living nightmare. She was just panting and panting. She just lay there, literally hyperventilating and her tongue hanging out. It was just awful to see her going through so much pain.
Will little Meg pull through and make a fresh start? We'll find out later.
Over the last 2 days, we've been following the progress of Sam, one of 53 seal pups at the Seal Sanctuary at Gweek in Cornwall. The sanctuary takes in rescued pups who have been injured or abandoned and need a helping hand before they can live as independent animals in the wild. The sanctuary works closely with the RSPCA and a group of volunteers called British Divers Marine Life Rescue. This branch was set up 18 months ago to help rescue stranded marine life around the southwest coast of England. Today, I'm joining them as they train with an inflatable seal. Seals can be aggressive, and the first lesson in catching one in difficulties is to approach it from behind and pin it down as firmly and quickly as possible. So we've got him pinned down now. Yep.
Once you've got him in this position, you may decide that you need to tube him to get some nutrients or some water inside him, rehydrate him. And the reason you might decide that is the seal might be out of condition. And the way you can tell is the seal will have a definite neckline, a distinct neckline. A healthy seal's got a great fat neck, and you can't really see it's got a neck at all, just got like body and head. But an unhealthy seal has this definite sort of indent on its neck.
So, I mean, at this point, he's going to be...
Yeah, he's really going to be struggling. The whole time you're doing this, the animal with this very flexible head, flexible neck, will be trying to swing round and take bites out of your forearms here. It'll also be trying to roll over, and so it can get its mouth at you from the underside, as it were. Because it'll obviously be aware that it's got a large animal on its back trying to subdue it. So it'll be doing everything it can to get you off. So you'll really be wrestling with it at this point.
Seal rescue is a dangerous business, and they're keen to get the message across that anyone finding one that's in trouble should call for expert help.
Do not approach and try and handle a seal. That's for the professionals to do. If you have a bite from a seal, you end up having to go to hospital for that. They carry very nasty bugs, bacteria around their gums and in their mouth. And so if you're bitten, you're in serious trouble.
Most rescues take place in winter, which is the seal pupping season. The divers spend the summer months training. But it's not just seals they rescue, but much larger mammals as well. And the highlight of today's training is a mock-up rescue of a pilot whale. Cornwall has the highest rate of whale strandings anywhere in the country. For the deep waters they inhabit are closer to the mainland here than anywhere else in Britain. No one knows why whales become beached, but it's thought they've either become ill or simply lose their way. Today, the group is using a 1.5-ton rubber whale to practice preparing for a relaunch in the event of a real whale being beached. Bob Bolging coordinates the group.
Okay, fine. Right, Bob, tell me what's happening now. Now we've got a stranded pilot whale here, and we're stabilising it on the beach. We've actually got it in a support blanket, which is actually relieving the pressure of the body on the shore. So our aim now is to actually give this whale some stability and to take it out into the water.
It's terribly important that the skin stays wet. And if you find a stranded dolphin or whale, then you must keep the skin wet.
The whale isn't able to control its temperature out of the water, and so it becomes too hot. And its normal temperature is around about 37 to 39 degrees, but if it got up to 42 degrees, then that would probably prove fatal.
We're using this friendly.
Once the whale has been successfully reorientated on the water, a process that can take hours, the inflatable support can be removed and the whale sent back to sea.
It's very important, of course, for a group of people that are involved and trained as they are to keep their training up and to do it in all sorts of conditions. Today we've got quite a lively coastal swell here, which makes it quite difficult handling a 1.5-ton stranded whale.
By remarkable coincidence, just 2 weeks later, the divers and the RSPCA are called to a bay near Land's End to rescue a real minke whale that's become stranded. This footage was shot by one of the divers. Minkies are among the most common whales in Britain. At 1.5 tons and 5 meters long, this one's a youngster. They can grow up to 10 meters and weigh up to 10 tons. The rescue takes 7 hours, but the whale is successfully helped back into the water from where it sets off home.
Little Meg, a painfully thin 5-month-old collie cross, has been brought into Woodside by local dog wardens. As she's terribly weak and requires round-the-clock care, she's been temporarily fostered by Lisa Smith, one of the centre's volunteers. But just when little Meg appears to be on the road to recovery, she suffers a serious breathing problem during the night and has to be rushed to the vets. The following morning, Lisa and Phil wait anxiously for news of her condition.
She's doing fine. Obviously she's still quite poorly. We are having some problems, obviously with her breathing is still a little bit laboured. So we're treating it as a respiratory problem with antibiotics. I can't give you a cast iron guarantee that this is going to work and that all will be well. But the fact that she's quite bright in herself and she's barking and she's quite chirpy in the kennel is a good sign.
Do we know any idea what kind of caused it, or is it just something that's laying in? Or
it could be something that's just in her system. The fact that she's been out straying, she's a young dog, she's a bit underweight. They are quite prone to picking things up out and about on the streets, and she wouldn't have been vaccinated until the RSPCA got hold of her. So it's just something that she's picked up out and about. I'm
just dying to see her now.
So I put her through then, please. Right, let's go and get her.
She's coming out now. She said she seemed fine. Come on.
Here we are.
Hello, sweetheart. Hi, have I missed you?
You got her?
Yeah, I've got her.
There you go.
Oh.
Pleased to see you.
Oh, what have you been up to?
As little Meg's chest infection may be contagious to other dogs, Lisa can't take her back home. She has no choice but to put her in isolation in a disused kennel block back at Woodside.
Come on then. Let's leave it. She'll eat that when we
You eat your dinner.
Over the next few days, little Meg cannot have direct contact with any other dogs, although she is allowed human company and daily walks. While the young dog battles to get over her illness, Lisa faces a dilemma. She's wondering whether or not she should adopt little Meg.
I've got a few more days to decide until she gets the all clear from the vet to be rehomed. If I do decide that it's not right for her, it's going to be the hardest thing that I've ever had to do. Meg's really stole my heart. I've never felt like this about any other dog that I've worked with at Woodside, but I have been a lot closer to her than I have with any other dog, really.
4 days on, little Meg's quarantine period is over, and it's time for a checkup with vet John Barajo.
Her breathing is still quicker than I would expect.
Right.
Her respiratory rate today, she's got her mouth closed at the moment, is over 80 a minute, which is fast, even for a puppy.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think, therefore, the situation is completely settled down. So I'm going to keep her on antibiotic at the moment.
Fine.
And certainly, I want you, if you were to hang on to her for a while. I don't think she ought to go up for adoption yet.
Fine.
So I'm not over worried about her, but I'm not so relaxed. I'm going to discharge her yet.
Yeah, fine. Okay.
Good.
Although she still doesn't have the all clear, little Meg has made good progress, and Lisa is hoping a final check will show that she's now doubled her weight.
Right, Lisa, let's put Meg on the scale, see what she weighs. Come on, little sweetheart. That's a good girl. 6.6 kilos.
Brilliant.
That's really good news, isn't it?
Especially with all the problems she's had as
Yeah,
well. I'm
it's
so
brilliant.
pleased.
2 weeks later, Lisa officially adopted little Meg. Her health is continuing to improve, and with Lisa's love and care, her future couldn't be brighter.
For the 300 plus RSPCA inspectors in England and Wales, life is full of unexpected challenges. When inspectors call, they never know what they'll find or be called upon to do.
Oh dear.
Guy Harrison has been an inspector for nearly 25 years and is used to life on the edge. Regular viewers will remember him taking part in a dramatic sheep rescue in May.
She's about 12 feet down with no obvious means of getting off.
When it comes to dangerous situations, Guy's boss, Chief Inspector David Steele, is confident he has the best man for the job.
I know he was previously involved in the scaffolding industry, and heights, I have to say, don't particularly hold any fears for him, and whether it's climbing up trees or going over the edges of cliffs, he certainly doesn't have the fear that one perhaps would expect to be natural in some situations. he overcomes that and performs in a very professional way.
My area of responsibility down here is cliff rescues, and myself and another colleague are responsible for making sure that everyone's skills are honed once a year and they're reminded about the knots and the safety angles and personal fitness, and it's another part of the job I get paid for. Sometimes I feel I should give them money back. No, strike that. Somebody might hear that.
Well, I think his sense of humour is what keeps him going, and you know, some of us around him when at times we've been cold and wet and you know, having to stand alongside him. You know, he always, you know, is this sort of slightly larger than life figure.
Every year the RSPCA receives 1.5 million calls. Every complaint has to be checked up on. And today, Guy has been called to a farm where someone has reported dogs that are very thin.
Getting ready and everything. But we live down here.
Oh, come on. Hello. Well, you don't look very neglected to me.
Benjamin. She's not.
How ridiculous.
We actually got her. She was a stray running down the side of the road.
Well,
Guy looks over the entire premises and is confident all is well.
Well, I have to say, having seen certainly the lurcher and the Alsatian, there's absolutely no reason for concern. The complaint that they're thin certainly is unfounded.
You have to be self-motivated. You have to want to go out and do it. And I love talking to people, and I love meeting and handling animals. It's obviously going to be a little bit gut-wrenching when you see something horrible that's happened, but even then, I feel I can do something about it, even if it's only advise somebody.
After recent heavy storms in the English Channel, a local resident has found the body of an unusual marine animal on Hythe Beach in Dorset.
There's quite a concern at the moment about the number of dolphins that are coming up on the south coast along here. And because of that, I'll take it back to West Hatch, the Wildlife Hospital anyway.
The creature was later identified as a newly born harbour porpoise by researchers looking into the causes of marine mammal death. At the end of his working day, Guy heads for home in Yeovil. He and his wife Lynn share their home with an assortment of animals, and over the years have fostered many more.
People know where we are. So, yeah, we've been woken during the night. Police have woken us. We've all sorts of creatures. People turn up in the dead of night with an injured badger in the back of their... And how they've picked it up, heavens only knows. But they've got badgers in the boots of their car and, yes, all sorts of strange things. We've had lodgers like snakes that have managed to escape from cat baskets. That frightened you?
It did, because I was hoovering around the basket, and then I realised it was on the basket, not in the basket. And I was hammering on the window to tell Guy, and he said, "I'm busy." But it was fairly harmless,
yeah,
wasn't
I
it?
think so.
It could bite you, but you couldn't die.
Guy and Lynn have helped dozens of animals on their way to a new life. If you can give an unwanted pet a second chance, now's the time.
Bonnie is being looked after by the International League for the Protection of Horses near Lingfield in Surrey. Can you give him a home?
This is Bonnie. He's a 14-hound skewbald cob, 21 years old, and he has been with us for 2 months now. Bonnie came into the centre because he was found to be living in very poor stable conditions. However, his weight did look okay and he had been looked after fine. Although Bonnie is in good condition, it is quite sweet really. He does get a very sunburnt nose in the summer. So his new owners will need to apply a sunblock cream, such as zinc and castor oil cream, on him daily.
If you've a home for Bonnie, whatever the weather, please call us on our new number, 0900 174 7474. The line is open until midnight tonight. Remember, you must be over 18 to call. Leave your details on the answer machine and someone will call you back. Priority for rehoming will be given to people living in Surrey.
Bonnie's got a great personality and a great character. He adores people and he loves the attention of them. He loves his kisses, his hugs, he loves to be ridden and he loves going out in the field with his friends. He's a really well-mannered pony to ride. He's very easy to handle. He loves to be ridden out, especially out hacking. because he's a really perfect pony with traffic. The ideal owners for Bonnie would easily be a family, because he could be ridden by adults, teenagers, or even small children could learn how to ride on him.
Bonnie is incredibly sociable and needs a home where there's another horse or pony to keep him company. At the moment he's not quite as fit as he should be, but regular exercise should quickly get him back into shape. Like all horses and ponies, he needs a field that's well fenced and has a shelter or stable to protect him from bad weather.
I really like Bonnie because he's a great little pony to ride. You can really have a lot of fun on him. He's got so much to offer a new owner because he is just so easy to handle. He is really wasted at the centre. He could be doing so much more than what he is here.
If you can offer this well-mannered pony a home, please call us on our new number 0900 174 7474.
What does a professional gardener's garden look like? A new four-parter reveals the horticultural secrets of those in the know tonight at 8:30. Well, next on 4, Friends, and Ross has made his own bed and he's got to lie in it. But I'm afraid not with Rachel.